Chapter 332, Dragon and Elephant Prajna, Hellghost King. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Even Bukion Fan, who was ranked first on the Earthboard, could only exchange 3 blows with him before being defeated. Di Yi was curious. How many attacks could Zhang Yuochen take? Di Yi steadied himself and raised his hands. He placed his palms face down and curled his fingers, making them into claw-shaped. Snap! The claws of the black dragon ghost claw gloves were as sharp as dragon claws. He stopped battling Zhang Yuochen with his palms and switched to using claw techniques. Hellghost King Claw. Di Yi charged forward. His speed was twice that of before. It was close to approaching the speed velocity. The Hellghost King Claw was a martial technique which was not completely understood. It originated from the universe Dragon Claw of the Thousand Buddhas sect. It was later modified by saints in the black market and used as a martial technique of the black market. The Dragon and Elephant Prajna palm was the most powerful palm technique of the Thousand Buddhas sect. The Universe Dragon Claw was the most powerful claw technique. The Universe Dragon Claw had 9 attacks, and the Hellghost King Claw, which was derived from it, had 36 attacks. Comparing the two, the latter was slightly less dominating and powerful than the former. However, the latter was also more evil and sinister. With the additional changes, the latter was a much darker technique than the former. Di Yi struck out his claws. A sinister wind picked up. The temperature plummeted. The water in the surrounding environment froze. Whoosh! Countless claw prints flew back and forth in the freezing air. 1 minute they were hands. The next dragon claws. They gave off a ghostly cry. Zhang Yuochen had one arm around the unconscious Huang Yanjun. Gradually he slowed his speed. Boom! Caught off guard, Di Yi scratched his chest with a claw. Even with the flying fish armor, he still felt a deep pain in his chest, like his internal organs had been clawed at. Another long howl came from the foot of the hill. Zhang Tangai flew a chariot a meter off the ground. It parted the waters and soared up the hill. The power of the Fuyuan chariot was shocking. As it passed, rocks were crushed into fine powder. Dozens of black market warriors followed. Weapons in hand, they arranged in a battle formation. They looked like a black tide swarming towards the stone gate. Zhang Yuochen, the day of your death has arrived. Zhang Tangai stood proudly on the Fuyuan chariot. He raised his hands and transformed his genuine qi into a beam of light that flew up from his head. He summoned a vision of heaven and earth, 1,000-mile lightning sea. Clap! With Zhang Tangai's body at the center, all the spiritual qi within 333 km surrounding area gathered together. It coalesced into rods of purple lightning. The lightning crossed and darted back and forth like a lightning sea below the water. Zhang Yuochen's heart sank. He knew that Zhang Tangai had broken into the heaven realm. Such a powerful vision of heaven and the earth could only be summoned if one had broken into the heaven realm. Even before Zhang Tangai had broken into the heaven realm, he'd been a rare prodigy. Now his strength had increased exponentially. People like Si Xingkong and Chen Xie stood no chance against him. However, Zhang Yuochen was more worried about the dragon soul in the hill. Once the dragon soul awakened, the future did not bear thinking about. It was likely that everyone here would die. Just as Zhang Tangai was executing the vision of 1,000-mile thunder sea, Ziqian, who had the weakest cultivation, was struck by a streak of lightning. She flew back with a scream. More than half of her body turned a charred black. Countless tiny threads of lightning flashed across her body. She was heavily injured. Zhang Tangai saw that Ziqian was wearing the clothes of the Hades department. He assumed that she was a warrior of the black market. The strike had not been purposely aimed at her. If Zhang Tangai had wanted to kill her, his strike would have incinerated her into ash. Chang Kiki and Si Xingkong rushed to stop Zhang Tangai from 2 different directions. Go away. Zhang Tangai waved his arm and moved his genuine qi. 2 thick rods of purple lightning flashed towards them. They fell back. Zhang Tangai only had one enemy, and that was Zhang Yuochen. He knew that this was his only chance to kill Zhang Yuochen. Once Zhang Yuochen broke into the heaven realm, he would not have a chance. Chang Kiki and Si Xingkong activated the defensive inscriptions on their spatial rings. Although they had been sent flying, they were not hurt. They climbed to their feet and charged towards Zhang Tangai again. We can't let Zhang Tangai join Di Yi. If they join forces, It will not be good for Zhang Yuochen. In battle, Seek Sinkong leapt upwards. He landed on a high point on the hill. He took out a jade stone and immersed his genuine qi into it, activating the inscriptions. Chen Xia, Duan Muk Singerling, and Chang Kiki did the same, activating the inscriptions of array. They created a combined attack. Together they formed a combined attack. Swoosh! A half-meter column of light burst out from their combined attack and struck towards Zhang Tanggai's Feiyuan chariot. The chariot was an 8th level genuine martial arms, but under their combined attack, it flipped over and rolled down the hill. Zhang Tanggai looked quite pathetic as he followed his chariot down the hill. The four's combined attack clashed with the array laid down by the black market warriors. They quickly destroyed the enemy's array. More than half of the black market warriors were killed or injured. The remaining people quickly escaped to the bottom of the hill. Zhang Yuochen and Di Yi were engaged in an intense battle. Ghost King's anger. Di Yi executed the 7th attack of the Devil's Claw. His body grew half a meter, his muscles expanded, his bones stretched, and his fingers doubled in length. He dissolved into a ghostly shadow and struck with a claw towards Zhang Yuochen's neck. He planned to use this attack to pierce through Zhang Yuochen's flying fish armor and completely finish him off. Blood condensed 9 swords. Zhang Yuochen spread his hands. The spiritual blood in his body flowed out. It transformed into blood fog and created a blood wave beneath his feet. 9 sword shadows circled his body before combining into one and flying out. Zhang Yuochen pushed out the sword chi with both hands. Bam! The sword chi gushed out. Countless streaks of sword chi flew towards Di Yi, forcing him to retreat. Seek Sinkong, Chen Xia, Duan Muk Singerling, and Chang Kiki rushed up the hill. They arrived at the stone gate and stood with Zhang Yuochen. Duan Muk Singerling held the injured Ziqian in her arms. Zhang Yuochen turned and placed the dragon horn into the hole in the stone gate. The gate opened. A golden light shot out from within. Swoosh! Not just the dragon palace but the entire river for thousands of kilometers was completely bathed in golden light. The indistinct sound of Buddhist music could be heard. The Buddha Sarira must be the heart of the hill. Light flashed through Di Yi's eyes. He drew on all the power of his body. With his body as the center, water flowed out in all directions, sending all the black market warriors flying back. Di Yi once again rushed towards the stone gate. Seek Sinkong, Duan Muk Singerling, and the others had already entered. Zhang Yuochen pulled out the dragon horn and the stone gate began to close slowly. Zhang Yuochen stood in the middle of the gate with his legs apart in a horse stance. The genuine qi in his body circulated rapidly and flowed towards his right arm, turning it golden. Zhang Yuochen, I was only using half of my power earlier. Do you really think I can't kill you? If you try to stop me from taking the dragon Sarira, you're looking for death. A 33-meter human-shaped saint figure rose behind Di Yi. Its body radiated multicolored light and its eyes burned like fireballs. He appeared to be attaching himself to a saint's body. The power he displayed was indeed far more than before. 9 folds of elephant power. Zhang Yuochen raised his right arm. He struck out 9 handprints in a row. They overlapped, resulting in a 9-fold increase in power. Human king pushing mountain. The holy light surrounding Di Yi flowed towards his fist. He brought it down like a mountain. Bam! Zhang Yuochen flew back. He flew back more than 33 meters and landed on the ground. He felt like a mountain had crashed into him, his bones almost shattered. The skin of his right arm was cracked and bloody. He could see fresh blood, flesh and blood meridians. Of course, Zhang Yuochen had also forced Di Yi to retreat. He could not get through the stone gate. By the time Di Yi struck again, the gate had already closed. Bang! Di Yi's fist slammed into the stone gate but was blocked by golden lines. The strike rebounded and forced him back once again. The entire hill shook. Damn! Di Yi retreated down the hill with his fists clenched tightly. He was furious. Zhang Tangai approached, bowed and asked, "Young master, what should we do now?" Di Yi's expression was dark. Even if Zhang Yuochen manages to retrieve the dragon Sarira, he has to come out. We can take it from him then. Zhang Tangai was hesitant. I'm worried that once Zhang Yuochen breaks into the heaven realm, it will be very difficult for us to defeat him. Di Yi's eyes were cold, and his hands were clenched tightly. So what if he reaches the heaven realm? As long as I reach the heaven realm, I will still defeat him. It is only a pity that if I do so, I will not be able to reach the ultimate realm of the Earth realm. Since ancient time, very few people had been able to reach the ultimate realm. Even with the aid of the Buddhasara era, success was not guaranteed. Although Yi felt a slight regret, he did not dwell on it. Furthermore, he believed that if he wasn't able to reach the ultimate realm, Zhang Yuochen had even less chance of reaching it. Thus, even if Zhang Yuochen broke into the heaven realm, he was still confident that he would be able to defeat him. He had never failed, and he never would.